As I was sitting down to film today's patch notes video, I recognized for the first time in a very long time, if you're not aware, gingers don't generally get zits, but I seem to have made a little friend right here. I'm going to call it out because I'm weird, but hopefully you guys found that somewhat entertaining, because we're going to be diving into the patch notes today, and I don't know if there's going to be a lot of really good news coming out of the patch notes themselves, but if you guys enjoy this kind of content, be sure to comment in the comments, as well as hit that like button and join in the Discord for even more fun. But let's go ahead and dive in. Greetings, adventurers. New World Update 5.0.1, which I think essentially we're seeing the naming conventions of the patch relate with the season, and I'm going to wonder if that's going to keep up. But 5.0 this is the first update, which, spoiler, it's a lot of little bug fixes, a lot of little annoyances that kind of rolled in with season 5. They just finished a balance for power episode, and I don't see all of the changes they talked about here in this update. And they did talk about May, which isn't here in a couple of weeks, which is what I've told you guys all many times. They're on a 2-week sprint schedule, so roughly it's like you can kind of expect, you know, at least a minor update every 2 weeks ish, so to speak. Anyway, big update part of this is kicking off at 11 p.m. on April 16th, and that's going to be at 1 a.m. For Tech Central Time. It's going to last roughly about an hour and a half. So by the time, if you're Central Texas or you're in the United States, roughly about an hour and a half. By the time you get up, it will be ready to rock and roll, hopefully. The Awakening has once arrived to help Enigmatic Bloom Herald unravel the mysteries of the ethereal Wispy Bloom and the new and returning event-specific rewards. Pluck carefully from April 17th through April 30th as these precious petals attract the attention of nefarious wispy wisps, or wasps, if I could read. For the general release notes, they fixed an issue that could cause patch deltas to sometimes be larger than necessary, resulting in longer client downloads. I actually ran into that personally. Patches going forward should be more reasonably downloaded in size. They fixed a common client crash introduced with the initial release of Season 5, and a common server crash also has been fixed. For different world experiences, they fixed an issue where the player could get stuck in a falling state. They fixed an issue that caused the player characters to stop animating when falling off ledges or already in the middle of an upper body animation, such as spellcasting. They fixed a rare issue that could cause runes in the Winter Forge rune puzzle to not show up. In terms of combat, the Slayer script has been updated. And so what they've done, if you guys aren't aware, they are completely overhauled kind of the combat and background system. So it's native C++, so they can actually debug it. But it used to be very script based. But for the Slayer script here, they fixed an exploit for the spear weapon that required weapon swapping and dropping in to gain extra damage. A lot of this is just more or less fixing exploits. They fixed an issue for several exploits for the bow weapon that required the use of third-party software to gain extra damage. They fixed an exploit for the bow weapon that required action canceling to gain extra damage. They fixed an exploit where character movement velocity was incorrectly inherited during certain ranged attacks, allowing for the player to reposition while crouching at a higher movement speed. They fixed an issue that caused the forced delay of casting the Ice Gauntlet's Ice Storm mastery ability, preventing blocking actions. They fixed an issue that caused the Hatchet's Berserking Purge ability to not cleanse crowd control effects when the player such as stuns. They fixed an issue that caused sword and shield weapons to allow unchanged heavy attacks as the third action in the light attack combo chain. They fixed an issue that caused cunning and stalwart heart runes of stone form to explode and cause damage at the end of their ability duration, inappropriately mimicking the benefits of the unstable heart rune variant. They fixed an issue that could adversely impact the accuracy of non-hit scan weapons, projectiles such as bullets or arrows, by deviating from their expected trajectory as indicated by aiming crosshairs. So for some artifact changes, they fixed an issue that caused the Tempest Fury artifact to not always provide extra spins while attacking. They fixed an issue that caused the Life Taker artifact to deal an invalid type of damage that could not be resolved. And for the economy, progression, and gear, they fixed an issue with the crafting recipes that did not directly produce the item, such as research projects or camp skins, resulting in a crafting attempt failure. Message from the abort. They fixed an issue that also caused diamond gypsum to become unattainable. It can now be found in the ritual pouches obtained by closing major corruption breaches throughout the open world. The ritual pouches will be grant a variety of alchemic crafting materials, potions, and some of coin, and a single diamond gypsum up to the daily limit of 3. So that's our patch notes for 5.0.1. Obviously, it's going live tonight. I've actually really been enjoying Season 5. I know this is a very I guess, quiet time for the game based off of just the functional changes that Season 5 brought in. And for me, as someone who's a controller player, I absolutely have been having a great time enjoying this game. It makes it easy to pick it up, casually play it. If I want to just fish in the evenings or if I want to do dungeons, it gives me so many more options. And so I'm really enjoying it. But I understand the frustration that people have had. I understand why people are not playing it, as the player numbers are the lowest they've ever been. And I'm personally very excited to see what June brings, more or less, but also with the hopes for the future, because they just keep making the game functionally better. And now I want to see them stacking on content after content, as well as PvP content as well. So fingers crossed for the future of the game. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the patch notes. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. But until then, take care.